Hello, my name is Jessica Crunkleton. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, licensed mental health counselor, certified alcohol and drug abuse counselor, Santrade therapist, certified EMDR therapist, EMDR coach, EMDR trainer and training, and I'm also an EMDR client. Recently decided to start this series called EMDR 101. This is the first installment in that series. And so I thought it'd be neat to kind of start off the series just in terms of talking about some of the misconceptions that people have about EMDR. And one of the big ones is EMDR a scam? I know for myself, I have been an EMDR therapist now for about 5 years. But before I became an EMDR therapist, when I was first approached with the idea of getting trained in EMDR, one of the concerns I have, and one of the concerns I see a lot of clinicians have, and just individuals have, is this a scam? I keep hearing about EMDR. This sounds kind of weird. What do you mean you're going to wave your fingers in somebody's face and they're going to feel better? It sounds really weird. Sounds a little scammy, right? So I want to kind of talk about that. I distinctly remember when I was thinking about getting EMDR trained, and the agency where I work is Community Mental Health Agency, and they were offering the training. They were bringing a trainer in to do the training through EMDR Consulting, and they were charging, I believe it was $1,000 to get the training. And I was interested in it, but I thought it sounded really weird. And I remember telling my best friend, I don't know about this one because she's also a therapist, and my best friend thinks a lot of things are scammy, but she said, no, this is a real thing. I've been trained in it. You should definitely get the training, Jessica. In fact, think of it this way: $1,000, 10 people, $100 a person, you get your money back. And I thought, okay, I've never spent that type of money to get trained in anything before. So it's obviously a huge investment. But if my friend says it'll work, I'll give it a shot. And so off I go to the training. And one of the things that distinctly stands out for me was a moment in the basic training when, so part of the EMDR training is you go into practicums, which means you have a partner, or now we do triad. So there's three of you guys together, and you're going to actually work through some of your own personal issues. And so when I was working with my partner, I decided to choose something. I've been in therapy for many years, had been at that point. So I just decided to do something that I had previously done in talk therapy, but there was still some issues around it. So I just wanted to kind of see how it would go. And I remember going through the training, doing the practicum with my partner. I believe I did EMD little r on the issue. And I remember thinking like, whoa, what did she just do to me? I felt a lot better. I felt lighter. I saw the issue differently. It was really weird because, again, I had gone through therapy for years before and talked to my therapist about it, but this was a whole different experience. This was more in the body, and as we know, the body keeps the score and all these things. And so there was a lot of things that my therapist couldn't get to with talk therapy, right? That we CBT, I love, and some of these other things, but it just wasn't getting to some of these other connections around what had happened to me, what my experience had been. And I remember I literally went out within the end of that training and was like, I told my individual therapist, hey, enjoy working with you. You're awesome, but I've got to go and get an EMDR therapist. And it was one of the best investments I made. In fact, I think it contributed a lot to who I am today, how I'm able to present, being able to put the past in the past and work through things. And so I think from that experience, I learned pretty clearly that EMDR is not a scam. Now, will it work for everybody? No, there are no therapies, I think, that legitimately work for everybody. It just is not set up that way. But I will say, for the majority of clients that I've worked with, the clinicians that I've helped train, that I've helped work with, EMDR has worked for their clients. Now, it may be that they're using EMD little r or prime. There are also different types of EMDR that you can use. I'll mention that. We'll talk more about that later, but I'll just kind of throw that in. There's resourcing. There's a lot of different ways, again, that you can utilize EMDR. So no, it's not a scam. It actually legitimately does work. It sounds weird. There's a lot that goes into that. I'll talk more about that later. But just just to get things started off, I do want to share that no, it is not a scam. It is a real thing. I utilize it. I've been a client. I've utilized it. Over 200 people, kids, teens, and adults, different racial groups, different backgrounds, different presenting issues. So not even just using it just for PTSD and trauma. I've used it for anxiety, depression, adjustment disorder, addiction issues, grief and loss. I mean, just a whole wide range of things that I've been able to utilize this for. And so again, nope, not a scam. It actually is a real thing. All right.